already going live.
Normally counts down.
And we're live.
And we are live once again. What's up, man?
Nada, how you doing?
Good, man. All right, guys. If you are new to the show, this is Grant and my weekly YouTube live. I almost said Facebook. YouTube live. We're basically, it's called Dieting Donuts with Jared and Grant.
Where we talk anything and everything fitness. Yeah.
Fitness. I mean, everything. We're basically get on here to just make life easier for everyone trying to like look good naked and shit.
Absolutely.
Just with all the bullshit in the industry and then in the space, we wanted to give a spot where we can come on here and actually give you guys tactical information that will completely change your fucking life. So
if you're someone out there that wants to, eat healthier, get in shape, literally anything related to just being a healthier person, this is the show for you.
Shit. So.
Oh, and so shout out Crystal and Frankie. You guys freaking killed it tonight.
Everyone else is like, who the fuck
and
is
everyone
Crystal
else.
and
And
Frankie?
Jimmy, if you're out there, get a tuxedo.
No, Jimmy, if you're listening, fuck you. Just kidding. All right. What's on the roster tonight? Because I don't even remember.
So the first one that we're going to talk about is like how to navigate.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we said that we're going to specifically talk about like social media type of fitness, which honestly seems to be really, really prevalent. So one thing, I've actually got a lot of, well, I want to phrase this carefully.
Why?
Well, I don't know.
Fuck it.
Well, so I have people that we'll just say that I follow on Instagram who, I think that they really have like the, the good intentions of helping others, but it's basically them posting like, fit tips of the day or, dieting tips. And a lot of what they do is just, number one, flat out fucking stupid. Like,
I'm out spitting my donut everywhere.
It flat out fucking stupid or just wrong. So like,
Right.
If you follow people that tell you to go up a Stairmaster and do fucking, reverse spin donkey kicks for booty blasting, like that's a keyword to look out for. And, don't.
Bro, that's clickbait as fuck. I've used that. I'm just kidding. I have used that actually, shamefully. But it's like showing a workout. Like,
but there are just an astronomical amount of people out there that, while I think they are well intentioned, a lot of their stuff simply it's misleading, and a lot of the times it's just not correct.
Sure.
So then what do we do about it?
Yeah, what do we do about it? So like this one's broad. Like this is like basically, guys, it's how to navigate this shit, how to navigate the good, the bad, the effective, and the totally fucking bullshit. The thing is, guys, with this space is you're looking at everything from workout tips, like you said, to like supplements, to advice.
Honestly, I think
the
supplements are probably the worst. Like if I had to single one out, that's probably the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree, but like there's just so much. It's like I think it's everything. Like, because you got people giving terrible advice, like what you said, like let's walk sideways up the Stairmaster and it's gonna fucking make your hamstrings sculpted and defined, which is wrong. Just stuff like that's just one example.
Mm-hmm.
But then people saying no, 1,200 calorie diets is the only way to lose weight. But then there's people who say this Jared motherfucker is talking about eating donuts and losing weight.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the funny things too, that there are people out there that think that what we're saying is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you're curious, we don't say anything I don't think we've ever said anything that's not true or accurate to the best of our current knowledge.
That's the problem, is there's so many opinions in this and stuff in this game where it's like, well, I don't feel like you should be able to eat carbs and lose weight. Like, well, your feelings are biased because science, sorry.
Right.
These
are freaking killer, by the way.
I know, dude, these ones are really fucking good. So I should like talk to the owner of Casey's to like be like, hey, can you guys want to like give me donuts every week?
Right,
and I'll like give you extra shout outs and stuff. Dude, I'm basic as fuck. You give me donuts and I'll do damn near anything.
Right.
But but no, dude, but like everything from like the exact like specifics, like eat 1,200 calories a day or carbs are bad to donuts are bad but then the supplements. And then like you got people who are like wearing waist trainers and fucking belly wraps with tingle cream and saran wrap their face for the forehead skin to freaking loosen up. Like it's so much stupid shit. So the question is, so I guess how we should ask, because Grant, so one of the things that I think we should never change about the show, Grant, is have any sort of communication regarding each subject until we are on the air. So what happens, guys, is Grant and I, between the two of us, figure out the subjects we want to talk about or the problems we want to solve. So like the ones we listed, because tonight actually, because I don't think I actually did on YouTube. So the 3 that we're talking about tonight are how to navigate the true, the false, the effective, and the total BS in the fitness world, why progress takes so long, and how to set your calorie deficit without starving yourself. That's the 3 problems we're solving tonight for you. So, but the thing is, Grant and I, we know we're doing that. Actually, you didn't even know. We'll like sometimes he'll come up with the subject. Sometimes I will. Sometimes it'll be a collaboration 7 seconds before this starts.
So we know what we know the topics coming onto this, but
we have
like I have no idea what he's gonna say. He has no idea what I'm gonna say.
Which is what gets a very nice like round table.
And we've actually had some like pretty good conversations.
Yeah,
where you've changed my mind on a few things, and
no doubt, and then like vice versa. So, so with that being said, what are some pieces of information and advice you would give to someone about how to navigate that? Everything from not just one thing, but like as a whole, some strategies to just the fitness world as from a spectrum of the Facebook ads they're targeted with, to their neighbor on keto who's got a daughter who's a trainer, to people in the gym. Fuck, I've been in the gym in the middle of training someone. I had a lady try to convince my client in front of me to eat keto. I'm like, bitch, go lay down. I didn't say that. I thought it though. But like, how would you suggest? Because you got, I mean, spectrum wise, to bring context in, you've got everything from Dr. Oz saying, lather yourself in celery juice and coffee grounds, to influencers saying, nothing matters except for the 5 things they sell, to how do you go about if someone's like, how do I navigate that?
So to me, I always like to approach that by basically looking at it from the, let's find the value in the simplicity of it. So the more and more complex people get on a certain topic, like, for example, if you need to put on, this certain cream around your waist 20 minutes before a workout, that's pretty complicated. So chances are I wouldn't listen to it. But find value in the simplicity, right? So things like, that are grounded in science, like we know if you want to lose weight, you simply have to be in a calorie deficit. There is no getting around that. Now, there are more intricacies to that, but, I think that when you're navigating this stuff, make sure that the simple things are right before moving forward with that source. So, if your source is, wrong on the foundational stuff, then obviously you need to not go any further.
Sure. I guess we'll just like tit for tat, just go back and forth on this.
Sure.
One of the things that I think that because like I'm a big fan of everything should be based in laws. If you like everything about the universe that we live in the way everything works is it operates by definite law. No opinions, no whatever. Like there's a reason the earth is floating in space right now. There's a reason I click a switch and that light comes on. There's a reason I speak into this mic, something cool happens in here, it goes down that cord and goes into that box, and that box goes in that computer, which is connected to the Wi-Fi network, and blasts it to all of you. Like everything is based in definite law. Gravity's holding that can of Diet Pepsi to this table. So here's my thing. One of the things people, I think, forget is that the law of cause and effect. For every cause, there's an effect, correct? But I would consider this under the umbrella of this law that should fix like everything. There's no such thing as we get something for nothing.
Right.
In no world do we get something for nothing. It's like that doesn't happen. Right. And like you don't just sit on the couch and do nothing and get shredded. Right. You have to do something. You have to eat in a calorie deficit and strength train, and then that happens. You don't just go make $1 million. You start a business, grind your face off, and then make $1 million. Even the people are like, well, what about the guys who win lottery tickets? And like we see how that works statistically. They're broke a year later because it never works out trying to get something for nothing. So because most of the things people, in my opinion, are having to navigate themselves through, it's shortcuts. They're like, wear this wrap and it melts belly fat. Wear this waist trainer and it does this. Take this supplement and you can eat whatever you want. Hop on keto and you don't have to watch calories.
I mean, I guess that's probably one of my best tips too, is just like, if it's anything that's they're trying to market something to expedite a process, it's probably bullshit.
Yeah, but like, because in no realm do we get something for nothing. So if someone is ever pushing, because right now, if people live by that, it would cut out fucking 80%. I feel like of all the stuff people have to navigate. Are they saying you get something for nothing? Like, and then someone say, no, the something is you have to take a fat burner pill and then it burns all your fat. Like, no, there's no effort required. But But no, I would agree. If something is trying to supersede time, that's
Yeah.
that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Like calorie counting, your progress is a pound a week, but keto, you can lose 7 pounds a week.
Right.
Like, nope, whoa,
Right.
back the bullshit train up.
Yeah. So anything that's trying to take a, like a 6 months process and move it down to like a month, like, that's something that you probably shouldn't follow.
Yeah, 100%. Now,
I mean, and if we want to talk about like, what do you do in the supplement world? Here's my thing with that. There is not, and I'll, take this one to the grave. There is not a single supplement out there that you need. There is nothing out there that you need.
I agree.
Hands down. So, if you're one of those people that gets, really caught up in the, should I take this or this? When should I take my creatine? Do I need to, load it? Is there a loading phase? Don't worry about that. You don't need anything.
Right. Well, and here's the thing, like, are there supplements that have benefits? Yes.
Sure.
But motherfuckers, this is what gets people, because I'll have someone, this happened. I'll make a post about supplements online, and someone's like, I said 99.9% of you don't need any supplements. And if you do, they're not sexy. And I'll get messages and they're like, okay, what's that 0.00001 though? I'm like, you're missing the fucking point.
Right.
Because my thing is, no supplement will ever be a game changer for you.
No.
Even like the core foundational, like boring ass supplements that could benefit you, they should. It's like protein,
Right.
low protein powder. Most women I coach take protein powder because they have a hard time getting their protein intake in. But even with that, they shouldn't. Their whole protein intake should not be from supplements. Now, if having a 30 to 50 gram shake every day, that is super beneficial and can be helpful, but all their protein intake should not be from powder. It should be from whole foods.
Now, so this is one thing that I've ran into with a lot of people that I've worked with. Have you noticed that the second someone gets into, and this is why I don't think most people even need to take protein in the first place. Most people, when they get into this, they just go batshit crazy on the protein. Whereas like, they think that because of all the information out there and protein, someone that probably needs at most like 110 grams ends up like, fucking upwards of like 200.
Yeah.
So like most people out there probably don't even need protein shakes. Like, truth be told.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, like I said, a lot of the women I coach will have protein shakes, and usually I'm never even the one to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, here's your let's shoot for 150 grams of protein a day.
Right.
And then they're like, man, I'm struggling to get 70. And a lot of times they're like, if I'm struggling, is it okay to have a shake like in between, or like with an apple? In that case, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. But like, the thing is, in no world do supplements make or break someone. No. Because here's the thing, because now I know everybody that's watching is like, well, okay, what are the supplements that Jared said? Some supplements have merit. What are they? Like, okay, we'll put it this way. If it's behind a plastic ass lockbox at your GNC and vitamin shop, you don't need it.
So what are I have two.
So I actually have.
Now, are we talking like vitamins too, or just?
So I have like 4 to 6 that potentially have merit.
Okay. Now are we talking like supplementing like fish oil or?
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Okay,
so like that's the thing is, even in the world of supplements, do supplements have a place? Yeah, kind of, sort of. But the thing is, no supplement is going to help unless all your big marks are taken care of. If your total calorie in check, you're fucked. If your strength training isn't in check, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything. If your sleep is out of whack, it's not going to do anything. If you need supplements for sleep, you need to get your other shit in check. Mm-hmm. If your just whole food and fruit and vegetable intake isn't in check, no supplement's going to help, because people overuse veggie powders and act like it's 20 servings of fruits and vegetables a day when it's not. That's why it's hard to eat 7 or 8 servings of fruits and vegetables and you can slam a fucking veggie shake in 2 seconds. But like my in the world of supplements, the only supplements that I actually have that I would recommend on a regular basis, that even still, the ones that do have merit are not game changers. Right. But the ones that do have potential merit, in my opinion, are protein powder. Mm-hmm. Not because you need it for an anabolic window, not because of anything magical. It's like, oh, if you need to have 200 grams a day and you can barely stomach 150, a shake can make your life a little bit easier. Or if you have a really, actually another one of the cases where a lot of my coaching clients use protein shakes, the ones that travel a lot. They know they can get it on a plane. They know, like, I got some clients who do some like big international work, so they might be in some pretty interesting countries that they're not sure what the food's going to be like. So they bring a lot of that. The other, your dude Michael's watching. What's up, Michael?
What up, Mike?
But anyway, so yeah, protein powder, fish oil. I know, game changing. Like testosterone, adipose tissue, ketosis blaster 5000. No, protein powder, fish oil, just because our diet is not very dense in omega-3s, and most people have inflammation issues and all that shit.
That that actually is one supplement. When I started taking that, I actually did notice a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Fish or protein powder, fish oil,
multivitamin,
and even I mean, multivitamin is on that list, but like,
I would suggest magnesium too.
That's another. That's on my list as well. But the thing is, here's the thing with multivitamins. Even I had someone message me on Instagram and asked this. Some lady messaged me and she's like, Jared, what's a good? It was a good question, but like priorities are out of whack. She said, Jared, what's a good multivitamin that helps with joint pain, digestion, muscle building, fat burning, and sleep? And I said, food.
Right.
Because that's the thing, is no multivitamin is going to be a game changer. I know you walk into a GNC and you're going to have a wall of multivitamins that talk about every benefit under the sun. But again, if you're relying on a multivitamin to get all your bases covered, you're fucked. It's like car insurance. Yeah. It's in case you fuck up a little bit and you're down on some vitamin C. It's that kind of stuff.
Right.
But like, it's not a game changer. But otherwise,
vitamin D, that's another one that I would suggest.
Which most people are deficient in. Because you guys notice a theme with this? This is basic bitch stuff. This is like not sexy. This is not exciting. This is not behind a lockbox with red and blue stripes.
Anything that's trademarked, right? So if like,
for the most part, because I've seen like creatine for like $7 that has trademarked of like Creapure or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Well, but otherwise, like for the majority of the part of this, if it's got like a really fucking crazy ass bottle with flames shooting out of it, and it almost like sings to you when you open the bottle, and it talks about how your fat blasting is going to be ultra quadrupled and your testosterone is going to be, whatever, like that's no supplement does that. Steroids don't even do that. Like, that's the thing, is that's one of the biggest ways to navigate through is the stuff that's making overnight promises that just is like, why would a multivitamin have flames shooting out of the bottle and sing to you and be like, da, 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 like.
But so like what I was doing on my phone right there is I just typed in top
Candy Crush, bro.
Top supplements to take for people. I forget what I put, but basically top supplements to take when you start working out. And I agreed with 2 of them. And it was a bunch of random bullshit.
Well, actually, let's do this right now. This is cool.
Or do you want to just look it up and?
Well, I'm going to change my search engine. If I said best supplements, if I can spell.
So, like the 2 that I agreed with that they had were
for weight loss,
protein and creatine.
So I'm just popping into Google the best supplements for weight loss.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And the first thing that pops up is a fat burner, what the hell is that?
What's the name?
That one. I can't even pronounce that.
Phenylethamine?
Yeah. Okay. If it has like 17 letters, just don't buy it. Phenylethamine.
I don't even know what that is. That could be good.
Another stem-free fat burner, and Lipo6 Black, another fat burner. Like, this is the problem.
Yeah.
I clicked on the first website that popped up, a fat burner pill, another fat burner pill, Hyper Shred, another fat burner pill, another fat burner pill.
I mean, truthfully, I'm kind of surprised that like apple cider vinegar didn't pop up. Like that kind of shit.
Best weight loss.
Type in best weight loss hacks.
Oh, that's a good one.
Something like that.
Yeah, here's the thing. Don't try to hack anything. Here we go. Oh, these are actually really good.
Oh, really? Is this shit that we would actually say?
Okay, this one's, I said, best weight loss hacks. Number 1, surround yourself with positive people. step 2 or tip 2, skip commercials, chew your food, get sleep, sit down, eat produce before food shopping,
Okay.
eat off the plate, not out of the bag. Like,
All
those
right.
are
Well,
actually, I'm actually
whatever website that was.
grab fruit, park away, skip fast food. So see that I'm just not a fan of some extremism in them. Drink lots of water. That's good. Half your portions. That's good. Get a good night's sleep. That for the most part, that's cool. And the problem where most people go with this stuff too is they're like, avoid sugar, have 0 alcohol, never eat fast food again unless your face falls off.
Right.
But I feel like so much of this navigating the bullshit is just honestly using common sense.
Right.
If you have to be like, but the guy on whatever says this and I should do this, and like, I don't know, I'm afraid I'm going to miss out. Like, you're not going to miss out. That's not how this game goes.
Right. So, I mean, I think the best way to navigate this kind of stuff is just understand that, your top 2 priorities are exercise and, kind of watching what you eat. Look into your diet and look into your exercise.
When in doubt, do research for yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's, so don't even, and I'm here to tell you to not even listen to us. Don't even listen to us. Do your own research. I am fucking huge on that.
Yeah.
Never take what anyone says, even me. Now, I think that you can trust me. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I think that you should do your own research.
Yeah, 100%. Like, Grant and I talk about calorie deficit and how you can make a donut work. But like, okay, then go research that. Research
Right.
how calories in, calories out work. And you're gonna find out like, oh, calorie is literally just a unit of measurement,
Right.
a unit of energy. And like, wow, I can totally
like, I mean, we could say take creatine, but until you can come to me and tell me, like, oh yeah, I looked it up and now I understand the acidity.
Well, what's creatine
buffer
do?
and-
What's the,
yeah, I mean,
what's the
like,
point of it? Like, yeah, 100%. All right, let's move on to the next one because
Yeah.
we're already like 20 minutes in.
that was a good one. I actually like that.
Yeah. All right, this one's gonna be good. They're all gonna be fucking good. Grant, why progress takes so long? I have a very interesting perspective on this.
So, shout out to Mikey P.
Hey,
Made fucking amazing progress. In
I
8
can
weeks.
feel that motherfucker smiling right now. He's just like, my motherfucker.
Dude, he has been absolutely killing it, and it shows. So, boy, I don't know. So progress takes a while because your body is very resistant to change. But on the same note, Mike made amazing progress in, I mean, I wouldn't consider 8 weeks to be, that long of a time.
Not at all. Well, here's the thing too. I'm going to interrupt you real quick. This is, I think, also where people go wrong. What's good? What's fast progress?
Right.
Most people, this is one of my favorite things to do to somebody. They'll be like, oh, Jared, I only lost 2 pounds this month. Or yeah, they're like, I only lost no, let's do 4. They're like, I only lost 4 pounds this month. And they're all pissy about it. And I go, what would be good progress in your eyes? And they go, 10. And I go, motherfucker, you made that up off the top of your head just now. Well,
yeah.
Because that's the thing is most people don't have the proper expectation of what good progress is like.
Right.
Because like a pound a week of fat loss is like stupid fast.
Well, yeah. I mean, so I think you actually might be onto something with that. Like, I think the big reason why progress takes so long is people have a end goal in mind, and they assume that end goal they use that as the metric. So if you're not 90% of the way to that goal,
sure,
then the progress is shit. But you have to look at that as, it's not going to be one big step. It's going to be a hell of a lot of little steps.
Yeah.
So progress doesn't take long. Like, from the time you step into the gym on day 1 or the time that you reduce your food, progress is happening. It's just not what you expect.
Well, right. Because expectations are everything.
Right.
Well, here's the other part too. I actually of course we know this game isn't overnight, but I'm convinced progress can actually happen rather fast.
Oh, I mean, it absolutely can.
Well, like stupid slow progress, I think is like snail fat loss progress, like snail slow is fast. Here's my one reason why. Someone can overeat and have horrible habits, never work out, never give any regard to their nutrition, nothing for 20 or 30 years. But you ever notice you don't have to equal that to get in shape.
Oh, absolutely.
Someone can literally be like, have the worst habits and be overweight for 20 years.
Right.
And in 3 months, they're going to notice some sort of progress. They're going to already be seeing progress.
I think
or you can
yeah.
have, or I'll see people that will, let's say, overeat for 20 years and in 2 years have a life altering transformation. Like bad habit for 20
right.
and totally like not even the same person in 2 years. In my opinion,
Yeah.
that's fast as fuck.
I mean, I think that's a good way to look at it. I mean, it's not, no one out there, and I promise you, if you think that you got fat overnight, you didn't.
No.
It was probably a multiple year thing. And I mean, you're right too. I mean, the fact that, you know, in the grand scheme of things, if it took you 6 years to get into the condition that you are now, and you can literally reverse that in 6 months, I mean, that's hella fast.
Or even like talking extremes. Let's say someone got super overweight and they're, let's say, 400 or 500 pounds. That would be, I would classify that as pretty overweight. But give them 2 years, dude, you can they can be like 8-pack. Like, you know, it's scary to think about that. So, but I think most people get caught up in the micro and not the macro. And they're like, because it's been 8 weeks, fucking 60 days. Oh my gosh, 60 whole fucking days. It's like by the time they finish a season on Netflix, they're like, why aren't I shredded yet?
Right.
It's like, you know, they watch a season of Supernatural or The Walking Dead or fucking Archer. They finish a whole season in like 2 weeks and they're like, well, I've been working out since I started season of Archer and it's already over. Why am I not shredded yet?
Right.
It's stupid. But I think most people spend a lot of their time, like, people are like, well, I got so fat in a month. But like they forgot about like the 3 years prior to that month that they just gave no shits. And they're just now aware of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and see, and that's one thing too. And I, you know, I've seen, and I know we've both seen this with our clients where, like, you know, we do like a before and after picture to just like it's a progress update. And, you know, we see like, you know, like if it's a back shot, right? And they've got, you know, like 3 rolls and then those rolls are gone, but there's just a little bit of fat left. You know, most people hone in on that. They don't, they don't take in that as a fucking win.
Yeah. It's,
I mean, that's the thing. People, like, you know, they have their end goal in mind. And, you know, when you progress towards that, they don't see the small steps.
Anything short of that is failure.
Right. Which is a horrible way to look at that.
But like, that's why I like to compare to other stuff. Like if, let's say, someone smokes a pack a day, would astronomical progress be a pack a week?
Absolutely.
But like too many people view it for themselves.
They'd be like, oh, he still smokes.
Yeah. They're like, wow, that's a fucking piece of shit. Like he versus like, no, that's huge. If you would normally, here's one of my favorites. Like when we talk about emotional eating and binge eating and just that kind of stuff, like self-sabotage. One of my favorites is they're like, well, I still struggle with binging. I still struggle with binging. And they're like, lose. I still struggle with binging. I still struggle with binging. I'll go, wait. Like before we started, you were binging every fucking weekend and during the week. Now you might binge once or twice a month and it's not consistent.
Right.
Like binging twice a week. So 8 times a month down to 1 or 2 twice a month and you're working on it.
Yeah. That's night and day.
But most people view that as like, no, I still binge eat.
Right.
Like if you normally would feel guilty after eating pizza and now you have a slice, make it work in your calories and you don't feel guilty, that's a fucking win. But most people, I was filming with Colin the other day and we made a piece of content on this where most people at all times have something going for them and against them. You have a choice of what wolf you're feeding, so to speak. Like most people, like at all times, someone may be like, well, I lost 3 inches, but I still haven't lost weight yet. I'm down 3 pant sizes, but the skill hasn't changed. It's like, okay, you have a choice right now. You can either continue to bitch and whine and complain about what you don't like, or you can actually give power and focus and celebrate what you do like, what that's happening.
Right.
And then it does a bunch of crazy subconscious stuff where that stuff is more inclined to happen now. But most people focus on the shit that doesn't serve them.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying sweep your problems under the rug, but I'm saying like at all times, you got to really understand your focus fuels whatever that is.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's also like, you know, that's kind of why I'm a big advocate for, you know, be that, you know, having someone there with you, be that a coach, a friend, you know, just someone, you know, someone to remind you that, you know, while you might not be seeing the progress is being made.
I'm glad you said that. You guys need to realize that the needle, if you're truly doing everything right, like if you're like, no, I know in my gut, I'm doing everything right. The progress isn't happening, but I'm doing everything right. I'm tracking my calories. I'm eating in my deficit. I'm getting to the gym. I'm doing all the right stuff, but man, this progress isn't happening. you have to believe and understand the needle is moving, even if you can't see it, because a mentor that I study, Ed Milet, he was talking about this in an example that was just amazing. It was an amazing analogy. Fat loss progress is so much like beating a piñata. You have to believe in your compound pounding of your efforts. Whereas most people view every day, they try to judge each day based on the harvest they reap versus the seeds they plant. Whereas instead of thinking like, why haven't I don't look any different? Why don't I look any different? Why don't I look any different? It's, did I do my due diligence? Yes. Okay. Feel good. Did I do my due diligence today? Yes. Okay. Seed planted with the faith and belief level that the harvest will reap, so to speak, because your efforts, the compound pounding of your own efforts, it's like a piñata. You ever seen like that happen where like kids are beating the fuck out of a piñata? Like they are just like
nothing's happening.
Nothing. And these little fuckers can like swing a baseball bat like nobody's business. And that thing, whips real hard. And I'm like I would cry if a kid hit me like that hard. And I'm like, that's the fucking toughest piñata I've ever seen. And they're just whapping it. But then there will come the hit that just does it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's almost like all the candy magically appears.
Right.
I think people forget progress in the gym and fat loss and strength works like that. It's not linear. On paper, it seems like it could be linear.
But
like,
it's not.
It's not. So does baking a cake with doubling the temperature and dropping the time. Baking a cake instead of 400 degrees at 40 minutes, cranking that sucker to 800 degrees for 20. On paper, it makes sense, but that's a fucking gross cake.
Yep.
I think people forget, and they really got to focus on the pounding of their efforts in actually believing it's going to come to fruition. Because when people don't, and they're like, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this is going to work. And you're doubting the whole way, your execution's shit. That's when subconscious self-sabotaging happens. That's when I need a break. That's when it's convenient the gym happens to be closer. That's when, you have trouble with your discipline out of nowhere. That's when I know what I should do, I just don't do it happens, because it's just how subconscious self-sabotage goes.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So should we move on to our third and that's sad. Our third and final topic, which is drum roll, because I forget
too. That's sketchy. Piñata just popped up in my.
Oh, I don't like that, man. What? Well, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's really. Man, so we were at having a meeting the other day, and we were at Mexican in town in Martinsville, and I had not touched my phone. I have never typed this into my phone, but we were just talking about like Graston. Is that what that's called?
Yeah, Graston work.
And that's basically where you take like this metal object and you just rub the shit out of your skin.
It's like a physical therapy.
Yeah.
Technique.
And so I, never typed that in, never mentioned that before. And then sure enough, I'm scrolling through Instagram and there's like 18 ads for that.
So I had along those lines, I had a guy I know that he was talking about this. He was typing in so there's an author. His name is Jim Kwik.
Yeah.
Kwik, I think. Jim Kwik. He's like a real, he's like an expert in like the mind and all this stuff and memory, how to speed read and memory. He has courses on that kind of stuff, which means he has Facebook ads and, like most businesses like Target with Facebook ads and things like that, digital marketing, whatever. Well, this guy that I know, he said he was in a private email in his computer or in his phone, whatever. And he typed in the email to his colleague something about Jim Kwik, his book.
And did he get some ads?
Literally in a private email. Didn't say a word, didn't type it into a search engine, like just the keystrokes in a private like Gmail email.
Oh, I hate
and
that.
within like a day, it's fucking sketchy.
And people make money selling that.
Yeah. That's why when people are like getting weird about like, what people would be like scared like to post their phone number online, or they're scared like the government's gonna find out, I gotta go off the grid. I'm like, motherfucker, good luck. Like that's just impossible, I think. But anywho, all right, last topic of the day, ladies and gentlemen. We're making good time now. We're only at 34 minutes. Yeah. So how to set your calorie deficit without starving yourself.
Without starving yourself.
You mean take this one, or you want to start it?
I think that's an easy one. So
eat, motherfucker.
Yeah, eat, motherfucker. So how to put yourself in a calorie deficit without starving yourself. So first and foremost, I would not suggest foods like this. Now, you might be asking, well, why? You can lose weight and eat a donut. You're goddamn right you can. You're goddamn right you can. But so you want, so this is a what we would call like a calorically dense food, right? So
Very.
like, you know, that
350
donut,
calories.
yeah,
right here to
that
be exact.
donut is 350 calories, and I could probably eat 20 of those.
Mhm.
But like, let's say I need to eat, you know, 2,000 calories a day to be in my deficit. You have to understand that I can't eat 20 of those because number one, that would put me over my deficit. But, you know, if I wanted to be in a deficit without being hungry, eating a donut would be a very bad idea because I could have an equivalent amount of chicken. So like one
Or
donut,
watermelon or something like
yeah.
that.
So like, you know, one donut right there. And then I could probably fill this entire box with chicken that would be the equivalent of 350 calories. So I think the easiest way and the simplest way to be in a calorie deficit without starving yourself is to find what's the word? What is the opposite of a calorically dense food?
High volume.
High volume food, yeah. Which
High
would
volume,
be
lower calorie.
right. So, you know, things like popcorn, you know,
Watermelon.
watermelon.
Honestly, most
right.
fruits and veggies.
Yeah.
Even like I've heard people shit talk watermelon. I'm like, bro, you obviously haven't eaten 300 calories with a watermelon before because you will feel like a fat piece of shit because not because it's calorically dense, but because you will feel like you literally are pregnant. Like it is so. I can put food away. I can barely eat 300 calories of watermelon.
Right.
300 calories of watermelon is like almost the size of your head.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. Well, so like
3 pounds of watermelon would easily fill this box.
yeah. Well, so I mean, a challenge to anyone out there. So this is popcorn. This is one of Grant's dieting hacks. Orville Redenbacher's Smart Pop.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get this, you know, good sized bag of it's what's the sweet popcorn? Kettle corn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one big bag of that is 100 calories, right? So I could eat 3 bags of those, right? I mean, that is a shit ton of popcorn. It would probably take me an hour to eat that, and I would be stuffed. So I just wolfed down one donut, which was 300 calories.
I had 700 calories.
Which, you know, that took me what, 30 seconds, maybe a minute to eat, and I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
Whereas if I had eaten the equivalent amount in popcorn, I would be stuffed, and I don't even know if I would be through it by now.
And it would take you a long time. Now, here's the thing, guys. Don't take this, what Grant just said, to an extreme and be like, oh, Jared, donuts are bad now. This is where a lot of people, I think a lot of the issues with bad relationships with food come in. People are like, oh, I'm scared to eat a donut.
Right.
I'm scared to go through a drive-through. I'm scared to enjoy the cake at my niece's birthday party.
Right.
Like that kind of thing. That's not what we're saying at all.
No.
But you have to be aware. The one key, you got to have one key to all of fitness and fat loss is self-awareness. You have to know, just you're aware of everything. You have to be aware of what you're doing. You need to know be aware of what you're good at. You need to know be aware of your downfalls and all this stuff. But not just like stuff like eating only high volume foods, because I see people do that all the time and they're unhappy and unfulfilled. They feel like they're starving because they're like full, but they're like hungry. Right. It's like I'm physically full, but I don't feel satiated.
Right.
So, because what I really want to talk about is from more from the caloric side, how to set your calorie deficit without starving yourself. As in this, most of you guys watching can get away with, and I feel very confident in saying this, you guys can get away with way more calories being consumed every day than you think.
Oh yeah.
Most people are so quick to go from eating 4,000 calories a day. Well, you don't get it. I have PCOS. You don't get it. I have metabolic syndrome. You don't get it. I'm old. I don't burn calories like you young people do. You don't get it. I have a thyroid issue. Like, okay, have you actually tested to see what your calorie limit is? I'll tell you right now, I used to think my metabolism was slow. I used to think, because I was told by some asshole who didn't know what he's talking about, that I have a slow metabolism. Until I actually was consistent for more than, 2 fucking weeks. And then once I like really got consistent for the first time ever, and I'm like, from now we're talking about months of consistency.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how many calories can I get away with eating without gaining weight?
Right.
I got upwards of almost 3,500 calories. And I'm a 5'6". At the time I was a little over 200 pounds, Jared.
Right.
So I'm not tall. Like I'm 5'6", but weighed over 200 pounds. But I always thought I had a slow metabolism, because some asshole says, oh, anyone endomorphic is has their metabolism slow. But then I actually tested it. I physically like said, you know what? Let's give this a go and see how many calories I can get away with eating. And I got up to like 3,500 calories and I didn't gain weight. I started to go over that. And then I think that was my limit.
Yeah.
But like, fuck, you know, so it was easy to make a donut work in my day.
Right.
You know, so the first thing I would say and how to get away with or how to set your calorie deficit without starving yourself is actually test and be consistent. I don't mean to be like a piece of shit, but for once in your life, be consistent.
Right.
Most people who whine, bitch, and complain, like to me, that they aren't where they want to be, they can't lose weight, all this stuff. None of them has been consistent for like,
Right.
if I said, okay, how many months have you been consistent? And they go,
you mean weeks? You mean
like no, like literally, have you been consistent for the last 8 weeks?
Right.
6 to 8 weeks is you can find out a lot being consistent as fuck. Monitoring your caloric intake, monitoring your daily body weight, monitoring pictures, monitoring measurements. That's what we do. Is ironic. For the next 6 to 8 weeks and see what your body tells you.
Right.
Because most people say they go from eating like a fucking asshole and say, I want to lose weight, MyFitnessPal. And then MyFitnessPal or whatever app you guys use says, how fast do you want to lose weight? And it gives you a range from 0.5 pound a week to 5 pounds a week. And I don't know one motherfucker that's going to say, I want to lose it slow. Everyone's like, let's max that bitch out.
Well, and then another thing to think about too is like, you know, MyFitnessPal. So everyone's individual, right? Like you are a unique entity. And so MyFitnessPal doesn't understand that. It's some very generic formula. So like, for example, if you've been eating 5,000 calories a day and that's your maintenance, then, you know, MyFitnessPal, if you go on there and you're like,
height weight job,
you know, it's probably going to tell you to eat 2,000 calories, which, you know, I mean, is that still a substantial amount of food? Yeah. But if you've been eating 5,000,
yeah,
fuck no.
Dude,
you can eat it like 4,700.
Yeah. Dude, I'm with you. One of the things both of us do for our coaching clients is, well, I've never gotten into the whole thing where like someone works with one of us and I just plug their numbers into an algorithm. I'm like, fuck, they could have done that. Why did they need me? But it's one of those things where what we'll do is we'll have you track your calories for, I do 7 days. How long do you do?
I ask everyone to do it for 2 weeks.
Okay. So before I make changes, like, well, everyone starts tracking their calories for like continuously, but before I make any tweaks or adjustments, I have everyone track their calories for 7 days of just normal eating to give me an idea. And usually 90% of the time, within 2 days, they go, oh, fuck. Because they're like, well, Jared, I eat 1,200 calories a day and I can't figure out why I'm not losing weight. I'm like, if you ate 1,200 calories, you would not have weight loss issues.
Right.
But the thing is, there's too much. That's most people, like 99% of people, that's too much of a deficit. I don't know what asshole came out with 1,200 calories, but they need to get 1,200 spankings.
You know what's funny? I actually think that number may have originated from Dr. Oz.
Asshole. But no, guys, like it's one of those things that you really got to keep in mind that your calorie number for your deficit is completely individualized to you. And before you do anything, you need to test. That's one thing Grant and I do as coaches. We test with our clients for all this stuff.
Yeah.
But we're telling you exactly how to do it, where you could test it and just see, but you have to be consistent though. Too often people eat like these little amounts of calories, and because of the little amounts of calories, they binge frequently, then that raises their weekly average. I was talking to a client of mine. She sent me all her data, and her calories ranged. We were aiming for 1,700. They ranged from 1,200 to 3,000 plus. And she's like, I don't know why I'm not losing weight. I'm like, we got to tighten that down, because I did her weekly average. I said, you're averaging over like about 2,000, 2,100 a day. And like, oh, wow. Just a couple off days and ranges will do that.
Right.
That's why you have to understand that's maybe why you're not losing weight. You may eat 1,200 calories a day, but on the weekends you binge to compensate. That'd be a good reason why, you know.
And you want to know the best way to
keep talking. I got to plug that in.
Yeah. And so the best way to not be hungry and be in a calorie deficit is don't eat in a calorie deficit, because as we remember, because if you guys have been following us on these, there are 2 ways to lose weight. You can either eat less or move more. So, you know, maybe you don't need to eat less. You can just simply move more. You know, I think that's one that a lot of people forget is, you know, if you've gone from living a sedentary lifestyle, eating 3,000 calories a day, and that's your maintenance, you can still eat at your maintenance and just simply go into the gym, and you'll put yourself in a deficit through exercise. You know, anytime that you're expending energy, you're going to be What did that say?
MacBook was at 3%.
Oh, I got you. But yeah, so I mean, so you know, two ways to lose weight. You can either move more, or eat less. So if you don't want to be hungry, you could just move more.
Right. Like you guys would be here's the thing you have to understand too, is one of the best ways to go about eating more. And I got a handful of clients that I'm getting ready to bring them out of their deficit, rock maintenance and reverse diet them, because what you have to understand is over the time dieting and being in a deficit, your BMR will lower. Your basal metabolic rate, what you just the calories to keep or the amount of energy to keep the lights on lowers. Your activity will lower. Subconsciously, you fidget less. You'll be more inclined to park closer to the store. You will your normal movement will be less. Like, you ever notice, like, Grant and I, like, we'll sit on one butt cheek, but then we'll be on the other. But then I'll turn this way and put this hand on my face, and then I'll do this, and like all this stuff. You'll stand and you'll fidget more. You know, Grant coughs into his hand or whatever. It's that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you're more inclined to go on a walk. You do dishes a little bit faster than normal. But then you've been dieting for a while and you don't move.
Right? Isn't that kind of fun?
And it's subconscious. You may, and you can't control that because you're not going to spend your whole day thinking about your non-exercise movement.
Yeah.
So, but most of our calories we burn every day are non-exercise calories. So if you've been dieting for a while, your non-exercise calories are lower. And then you're like, well, I don't know why I'm not losing weight. It's because your maintenance is lower. The total amount of energy you've expended over the course of the day is lower.
And
so,
that's a big one why we preach to not do extreme deficits, because your body is going to adapt to whatever you throw at it. So, you know, if your maintenance is 3,000, it would be very unwise to eat at 2,000 because your body's going to adapt to that. And then to lose weight from there, you're going to have to go lower. That's why you want to, you know, tear it down slowly.
Alan Aragon, who's a brilliant mind in this space, wrote an article about this where basically everyone is so quick to blame the bullshit starvation mode, but it's not. You literally subconsciously lowered all of your activity to meet you at that new maintenance. It's not because if you really think about it, I ate so little, my body thinks it's in a cave dying somewhere, so it's going to store fat. That's the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. If that was the case, why do we have famine in third world countries?
Yeah.
Not obesity. I have a whole like list of stuff like that. But where's I going to go with that?
I don't know. You're talking about starvation mode. And
with coming out of your deficit. If you've been in a deficit for a while, and here's the thing, guys, not necessarily, you don't have to necessarily time it every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks. If you're just starting to feel like shit, there's nothing wrong with, if like, let's just, to make numbers easy, let's say your maintenance calories is 2,000. So you've been rocking 15 to 1,700 and you've done that for like, I don't know, a couple months, and you're like, and you just notice weight loss is slowing down. You're noticing you're sluggish. You're noticing your workouts aren't as good. And you notice you just don't feel as good. There's nothing wrong with bounce coming out of it and eating maintenance.
Right.
People say, Jared, oh my gosh, am I going to gain weight? It's called maintenance for a reason. If you've been in a deficit, coming to maintenance is going to do exactly that and maintain your weight. Now you will get a little heavier from just because you physically have 500 more calories per day of food and probably carbs sitting in you. Right. So it's, you may, and you have more food sitting in your stomach, like waiting to be excreted, but you're not going to store more fat. And you know, there's some girls that I'm working with right now who have come when they started working with us. They were in a place of like 1,200 calorie diets, and I'm like, all right, well, we're not going to go from 1,200 to 8. We need to do some makeup work, and we need to get your calorie limit higher. Because she'd like, man, I eat 1,200 calories, can't lose weight, and that's
like actually ate 1,200.
Yeah, and and here's this: she is a 5 foot. How tall is she's short? She's like 110 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So like, she's like 110 pounds and like probably 5'2". Which those are more the criteria of people who 1,200 might be a better fit. Just people who like weigh as much as a toddler. But the thing is, she was doing that and she couldn't lose any more weight, legitimately. And then I had her track her calories for a week. She's eating 1,200 calories. And I'm like, is this normal? She's like, yeah, pretty fucking normal. And I'm like, okay, now we have some consistency here. So we went from 1,200 to 17. She lost weight. Because in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, Grant, but I think her metabolism went, finally. And now she's got calories to play with. Now she's moving more. Now her metabolism is elevated. Everything. And then she lost more weight. So you know what I did? Let's go to 2,000. because I'm trying to get her calories as high as possible while losing. Now her biggest problem while dieting, she's full.
Right.
She literally is like, I keep eating and I have trouble eating so much and I still lose weight, which my friend is a very good problem to have in the fat loss world.
Well, and so one thing that we always preach to is, you want this to be sustainable for the long run.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, you will eventually have to do something like this. You cannot continually lower your calories because then you will eventually be eating zero, and you can't do that. So, this is something that everyone at some point is going to have to do.
Yeah.
And you have to for it to be sustainable.
Well, and here's the thing, to have a proper reverse diet, I don't know, I'm curious your opinion on this. My opinion is you've had to have a good fucking amount of time in a deficit to reverse diet. Because if you guys can slowly titrate your calories down to where you're no longer losing, theoretically, by law of polarity, you could slowly titrate your calories up and not gain anything. And that's the concept of reverse dieting. Now people take this too far and they're like, they've been inconsistent as fuck. And they're like, I'm going to reverse diet. And then they jump their calories up by 500 a day. And they're like, why am I fat? I can't lose weight. Because it's got to be slow too. You don't want, a lot of people will reverse diet. You'll see bodybuilders do this a lot. And competitors, because they've deprived themselves so much after the show's over,
they get fucking fat.
They don't, instead of titrating their calories up by, slowly increase their calories up. Let's say by the time they hopped on stage, they were at 2,000 calories. Just make hypothetically. A lot of them will say show's over and it's a free for all. They don't even track
4,000, 4,000, 4,000,
yeah.
4,000.
Or but the best thing to do is have a little bit of self-control. Go from 2,000 to like 2,500. Rock that for a few weeks. 25 to 3,000. Rock that for a few weeks. And let the body slowly adapt.
Right.
Otherwise, you think the spring analogy would be good with that? Like if I held down a spring and then all of a sudden I just let that sucker go, like I dieted forever and I wanted to rebound. So I'm like, hold that spring down. And then I just go, fuck it. And go, shoots through the roof versus slowly add calories back. And now you don't have that rebound effect.
Well, I mean, so like my favorite way to explain this to people is just because I'm a biology person, just look at it from a biological perspective. So you've been going from, eating a little bit. So your body doesn't know what the fuck's going on, right? Like your body doesn't understand like, oh, they're wanting me to eat less so, I can look better. What your body's assuming is, holy fuck, my human can't find food. So whenever my human gets food, so like, you've been dieting, you've been eating at 2,000 and then you eat at 4,000, your body's like, oh shit, we're going to go through another famine again because he's been eating 2,000. So we are going to fucking store this shit, this energy. So when he goes into a famine again, we have a better chance of living longer, right? Yeah. So, and how do we do that? We store fat to use this energy.
Now, do you think that's where a lot of people still think like starvation mode came from, where it's like, oh, I haven't eaten in 3 days, and
so I always get like starvation mode kind of confused with
Remy.
Hi, buddy.
Remy's under the table
is because I've heard it both ways. Like, so starvation mode in one way is correct, where they're saying that like your body just isn't doing. So like, for example, like when I think of starvation mode, I think of like, your body adapting by like, you will literally blink like less per minute, like things like that, or you will stop fidgeting. To me, that is starvation.
No. So what the fitness industry, to my knowledge, means by starvation mode is because of the lack of food, your body says, fuck, we're hungry in the middle of Africa in a cage or in a cave. And we're going to hold on to every ounce of fat we can.
No, I mean, that's stupid.
Because if that was the case, we would not have famine and hunger issues in third world countries. But no, because you're totally correct with what you thought starvation mode was, where it's like you fidget less. No, your BMR lowers. Like you fidget less, you blink slower. Your brain and mental capacity doesn't think as fast.
Yeah. So like starvation. So I guess, you've got the fitness industry fucking up a term versus like,
good boy,
your body actually like doing something that it's supposed to.
It's crazy. But no, so like in terms of getting how to set your calories where you eat more, I would say the first one is become aware of how much you've been eating. I was just having the conversation at the gym tonight with a kid. He was trying to lose weight. He weighs like 250 and he could probably lose 50 or 60 pounds. And he was saying the same thing. He was like, yeah, I'm eating clean now and all this stuff. He has zero regard to calories. I'm like, and he's asking me about it. And I'm like, before you make any adjustments, see what you've been eating.
Right.
And he's like, oh, dude, it's probably fucking crazy. I don't even want to know. And I'm like, no, the worse, the better. He's like, bro, I was eating Burger King every day. I was having a Polar Pop and like a soda every day.
Good.
I'm like,
weight loss is going to be fun for him.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm like, yeah. So you're probably eating 5,000 calories a
Right.
day. So why are you trying to eat like a fucking bird? Like
Right.
if you were eating 5,000 calories a day, get away with eating 4,500. You know, I think people have the misconception they have to be starving while dieting. I think unfortunately, so many people associate suffering and literally like starving and hating their life and dieting. That's why people, in my opinion, like societally almost like they're like, oh no, I like donuts. I can't enjoy things I like while I'm dieting. Or, oh no, I can't. I had a client, one of my girls, Heather, I'm telling you, dude, she has like been one of the most consistent people I've ever worked with. And she is like destroying the game. And we were having a coaching call the other day and she said, Jared, I feel like, because she was starting to like wanting to start tweaking stuff and it wasn't time yet. She was like either wanting to like drop her calories more or whatever. And I'm like, whoa, why would we do that? And she's like, I don't know. I just feel like I need to. And I'm like, but you're progressing right now. I'm like, your pictures are black and white. You've lost more inches. Your body weight's down. And I'm like, why would we fuck with anything? And she's like, I don't know. I just feel like I should. She said, I feel like this is too easy. I'm eating up feelings. And I'm like, she's like, I'm eating a lot. And I'm like, and you're losing. So let's fucking rock it and not fix what's not broken. Remy, quit.
He's going in. You know, that kind of made me think of something. I don't know. I actually want to look into this. Do you know, like, if someone goes from like, let's just hypothetically say that their maintenance is 2,000 and then they drop down to 1,000. I don't know what your body would pull from. Like, do you ever think that there's like, would your body ever just kind of go into shock, so to speak, where like the things that would happen,
starve to death?
Well, no. So like, I mean, where you might not pull from fat cells like you might think you would, whereas like your body might just, start doing the things when you start eating super low, like blink slower and fidget less, where your body's just like, that's such an extreme that your body is actually not pulling from. I don't know if that's a thing or not.
I feel like by then you're in such a fucked up place that none of that would matter. Like, I feel like if it got to that point, you would be atrophying your muscles so much, you would be having brain function issues, and you would be having so much shit like you'd be burning through everything, body fat, muscle tissue.
Well, see, that's I don't know if you go like to such an extreme, if your body actually holds on to fat and then will do other things before it goes back to that. I don't know, like what.
See, I mean, I'm not sure.
I actually want to look into that.
But like, that's the thing is we're talking about like legit starving yourself,
right?
Which if you're at that level, there's so much wrong with the picture that is current. That needs to be addressed.
And I want to just stop for a second. So for the people out there listening, this doesn't apply. I'm just genuinely curious. Like,
no, we're just nerding out right now.
Yeah. So this does not apply to anything that would be relevant to you,
right? But keep in mind though, if you're even contemplating this stuff, you're probably in a bad place.
Yeah.
Like if you are like really legitimately eating that little and concerned at this level, you are probably in a really bad place with your food relationships and with what you're eating, and you need to come out of that deficit. But honestly, you probably go talk to somebody like a counselor. But the goal is, I understand this, the big principle that you should be trying to eat as much as possible while dieting.
Mm-hmm.
Like legit get away with trying to eat as much as you can. I see. Wait, I think it's your boy.
Hey, and we got Jimmy on here. What up, Jimmy?
What up, Jimmy?
Jimmy, we're going to bring you on here soon. You just got to get a tux.
Yeah, Jimmy, you got to get a tux. Watch, he's going to fucking do it, and then we're going to have to let him on here. So, I don't know if Jimmy would fit in this room.
He'll be the comedic relief.
I don't think he would fit.
We could like shift it that way, and we can get him a little spot at the end.
For those of you who don't know who Jimmy is just a large human.
Yes.
He
bench presses like 450 pounds.
Think of like a Yeti meets a giant gorilla.
Yes.
But that likes to tell dirty jokes.
Can't wait, dude. Hey, the ball is in your court at this point.
But now I have to get a fucking another mic. I wonder if my other mic would work, my Rode mic. But anyway. All right, guys. I think we're going to call it there for the night. We're at 59 minutes. So
59 on the dot.
Yep. All right. So We do this every week, every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard.
Uh,
This is Dieting and Donuts with your host, Grant and
Jettied.
Alrighty.
All right, guys. Thank you once again. We will see you next time.
Take care.
End. Damn it.